It's they have this concept. I know you're aware of it called the overview effect, where a very few people like yourself have been up there and looked back on Earth, and you have even spacewalked, where you had one hand, I think,
Twice.
twice, twice,
Yeah.
and you were holding on by one hand, and you said when you can be out there in space, I think we talked about it last time you were here, and see the Earth, and then look over and see the rest of the universe. It's I guess it's a very special moment. And I just had Neil deGrasse Tyson on here a week or two ago, and he said also, Brian, when that view was seen from the moon with the Earth of just a tiny little dot in the horizon of the moon, there was I think he opened up his latest book with a quote from the astronaut saying that the squabbles on Earth, they seem even less important from the moon. What was your experience of that feeling when you were up there?
At first, Brian, when you first get to space, it's maybe a little bit like if you went into the greatest midway of the World's Fair. If you were suddenly just from wherever you are right now, sitting comfortably in your chair, and you were suddenly thrust into the onslaught of stimulation of with the rides and the carnival barkers and the people and the smells and the colors and everything all simultaneously around you, it's overwhelming because it's just so different from your typical normal. And what you end up doing is picking out individual things, right? You have to kind of just filter out all of the differences and look for things that you already know. Look for, okay, there is a Cupid doll thing. Okay, I'm going to go over and do that. Or there's a ride. Okay, let's get in a line because I understand how lines work. Get a ticket and we'll go for a ride on that ride. But if you could stay in that cacophony of a carnival midway for a week, then you would get far more attuned to the subtleties of it, and you would see the great parts and the not so great parts, and you would understand it so much more completely. When I first launched on my very first spaceship, and the engines worked properly, the vehicle guided us, and unstrapped and floated to the window. And we were coming up on the UK because we launched out of Florida and we had northwest. I'm sorry, northeast. And when by the time you get to the window, there's just the green of Ireland and then the south of England and Wales and the Isle of Wight and everything right there. I floated to the window and I looked down, and for the first time in my life, I could see for thousands of miles. I could see from Stockholm to Rome and the Alps, and it was like that carnival. And so what I ended up doing to cope with the overwhelm was to go, okay, what do I recognize? Oh, hey, that's London. London. I used to live in London. I lived in Crystal Palace. I had a bed sit in Crystal Palace. There's London. And that must be the Thames. And I wanted to grab another astronaut and go, hey, look, London, right there. I used to live in London, because it was a way of coping with the incredible new richness of the place that my life choices had gotten me to. But the next time you come around, you don't just see London. You start to see some of the surrounding. And then the next time, and I've been around the world, whatever, 2,650 times, you start to actually see the entirety of the world, the incredible, rich textural beauty of it, and the age of it starts to seep into you. You get a sense of the unfathomable age of what 4.5 billion years actually means, and how tough this planet is, and how tough life is, and our tiny little, what do we get, maybe 85 years out of 4.5 billion, which is inconsequential, and yet it's what we have. And so when people talk about the overview effect and trying to put things into perspective, part of it is like just three-dimensional. I'm only this big, and the Earth is this big, and the moon's that big, and the universe is essentially endless. But also temporal, time. The universe is approaching 14 billion years old, and Earth's been here for about 4.5, so a large percentage of that. But people have only been here for such a tiny little bit on the end of it. If the entire history of the Earth was a standard high school running track, people have been here for like the half the thickness of one playing card on the length of a whole running track. We're just this little nothing right here at the very end. And so the overview effect that I keep, or that influences my thinking, is one of how fundamentally unimportant we are. So be humble. Recognize that we are not, the whole purpose of the world wasn't us, get over ourselves. But at the same time, make the most of the time that you do have. Try and understand things as clearly as you possibly can, and try and be contributory. We can find zero evidence of this level of awareness, of this level of intelligence ever having existed on this planet before. The responsibility that comes with that, the desire not to squander it, not to do something stupid and blow it up or snuff it out, and to make the most of it and to try and get it so that all of our eggs aren't in one basket. It kind of puts all that into a perspective of an imperative, a personal imperative of how to make the most of this incredibly fortunate experience of living here. And that's, when I think about floating at the window of a spaceship, that's the feeling that I get inside myself, of privilege, of wonder, of continuity, and of tremendous opportunity to try and make the most of every single day.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. The greedy bankers are about to do it again. In 2008, they crashed our financial system and nearly bankrupted the entire global economy. Then they received trillions of dollars in government bailouts. And after, they demanded fat bonuses paid for by you, the taxpayer.
It turns out the banks haven't just been screwing the American taxpayers, they're also screwing over their investors. Turns out the banking industry is the worst place you could put your money, despite enormous taxpayer bailouts.
Now the bankers are back to take away your financial freedom. They lie and tell you that cryptocurrency isn't safe. They try to make it illegal for you to choose how to invest your hard-earned money. They lie and say cryptocurrency is used by money launderers and criminals. But look at the record. It's the banks themselves that launder hundreds of billions of dollars every year to the biggest criminal operations in the world.
Leaked documents have revealed how some UK banks have helped criminals, money launderers and Russians under sanctions.
American authorities discovered that the Sinaloa cartel moved $881 million through HSBC accounts as bank officials turned a blind eye to the illegality.
The bankers lie and say cryptocurrency is not a real investment. Meanwhile, the smartest CEOs in the world are buying billions and billions of it. The truth is that banks lie about cryptocurrency because it makes them scared. The banks take $9 trillion per year of your hard-earned money, and they are worried that they will finally be exposed. They're scared because crypto means they can no longer control your money, which means they can no longer control you. They are scared because you might actually understand your money and intelligently decide what to do with it. Now is the time for us to come together, fight back, and take control. It's time to educate ourselves, our families, and our communities. Because financial education means financial freedom. We know that cryptocurrencies will help us build the new decentralized financial system of the future. A banking system that is of the people, by the people, and for the people. A banking system where access to finance is a fundamental human right. A banking system that is free and fair and welcomes all humans on this earth. The DeFi revolution is happening. We, the people, can no longer be fooled. We choose to take control of our finances. We choose to take control of our freedom. We choose to take control of our future. Join us, and let's take back our financial freedom forever.